Look at all those ants. I fed these ants some honey earlier. See, there's the leftover wrapper. But they ate most of the honey drops that I put down for them. And they're just, no, sit. Sit. I'm kind of walking my dog while I'm making this video. And they're actually rebuilding part of their nest because somebody stepped on it. And you can see them. Some of the workers are moving brood around to lower down into the nest. You can see that big one there is a major worker. These are fire ants, Solenopsis invicta. And see, I actually just put down a piece of chicken, and so they're like all over that right now. And then most of them, I mean, you can see there's hundreds of them, just trying to make sure they get all of that honey. Hundreds, if not thousands of ants just eating that leftover honey from earlier. And there's the wrapper again. I just put this piece of chicken down, and they're just laying pheromone trails right now to get the other ants to come and eat this chicken. And again, there's the colony of fire ants. They're rebuilding their nest from somebody stomping on it, or part of it, and that's the part that got destroyed right there. And I don't know if you can see if they're moving brood or what, but they're very active right now because their nest got stomped on. So you might even see a couple of them carrying pieces of dirt back to the nest to rebuild. But most importantly, that's just thousands of hungry fire ants. And they actually have what's called a social stomach, because not every ant needs to come and visit this honey. The ants will fill up their social stomach and they'll bring it back to the nest, and through a process called trophallaxis, it's a mouth-to-mouth food transfer. They'll feed the rest of their sisters back at the nest. And they are just making sure all of that honey is picked up and brought back to the nest. And I gave them that honey, the rest of what was left of the honey, and that piece of chicken, because somebody stomped on their nest, and they're going to need all that energy to rebuild it. The big ones are the major workers. Small ones are minors. Solenopsis invicta is polymorphic. Again, they do have a social stomach, which is like a lunchbox or a food storage internally. So not every ant needs to visit this honey or the piece of chicken, but every ant will eat, because they use trophallaxis. They have social stomachs, and they use trophallaxis to do mouth-to-mouth food transfer from their social stomach. And they're just, most of these ants here are rebuilding the nest. It looks like they moved most of the brood deeper into the nest. And that's about all I have time for right now, because my dog is patiently waiting for me to finish walking him. So, cheers. Give you one last look at all of these ants that are eating this leftover honey. There's the chicken. They're laying pheromone trails to get more ants to eat that chicken. Looks like that ant pile there is dispersing because they licked up most of the honey. And they do actually lick up the honey. Make sure every last little morsel is gone before they leave it alone. There must be a little bit of more honey left right there too. But there's a little worker ant carrying a piece of wood. They're just rebuilding their nest. Anyway, cheers.